Tom, take this to table 5. Go away, we're closed. John, is that you? Are you working? The usual? Oh, hello. My name is Jenna, and this is Gin and Tonic. If you are a cocktail drinking nerd like me, hit that subscribe button and join me for a drink. I just had an old friend stop by who's just gotten out of retirement, and I thought what more appropriate to make him than a corpse reviver. The term corpse reviver dates back to the late 1800s, and the first mention of it is in Punch magazine in 1861. At this time, it was more of a general term to describe basically the hair of the dog, or a concoction that you would consume the morning after having a proper rager. So there was a ton of different versions of this, some of which are lost in time and some of which we still have the recipes for today. The one that was most popular in the 1800s was the one that Harry Craddock came up with at the American Bar at the Savoy in London. And his was cognac, Calvados, which is like an apple or pear brandy, and sweet vermouth. And when he documented this, he said, as far as when you should consume it, it should be taken before 11 a.m. or whenever steam or energy is needed. So as I mentioned, there's a ton of different recipes for a corpse reviver. The one that I'm gonna be using is from The Craft of the Cocktail, which was written by Dale DeGroff. And I think this was the first cocktail book that I ever bought for myself. It's a great cocktail book for beginners because it gives you, obviously it gives you a lot of the great recipes that you should know, but it also goes into the more popular spirits, what they are and how you should mix them and the tools that you need and how to use those. So if you're looking for something, if you're just starting out, this is a great book to use. So in his book, The Craft of the Cocktail, he provides the recipe for Corpse Reviver number 2. And this is 1 ounce of gin. I'm using Plymouth. This is a great gin to mix with, very dry and citrusy. Then a 1/2 ounce of Cointreau. I'm using Orange Curacao. Any orange liqueur that you have at home will do here. A 1/2 ounce of Lillet Blanc, as well as a little bit of Absinth. And there's a couple different ways that you can incorporate this into your drink. And 3/4 ounce of fresh squeezed lemon juice. So I'm gonna start with that, get that out of the way, and then I'll incorporate everything else into the glass. 3/4 ounce of fresh squeezed lemon juice. After that, I've got 1 ounce of my Plymouth Gin. 1/2 ounce each of my Lillet and my Orange Curacao. So last ingredient that I want to talk about is the absinthe. There's a couple different ways that you can put this in your drink. One way would be just to simply take a bar spoonful and add it to your mixing glass and shake all the ingredients together. Another way that you could do it is put a little bit in your coupe glass and then kind of roll it around, which will get it on the inside of the glass. What I'm gonna do is use my spray bottle, and thank you, Steve the barman, for the tip. I saw you do this with some bitters. I'm just gonna spray the glass with this little sprayer that came with all of my little bitter bottles that I needed recently. So I'm gonna set that aside while I shake my drink. Add the ice to the shaker, give it a good shake. Once you've given it a good shake, you wanna transfer it over to your coupe glass, and I'm gonna double strain this because there's gonna be some shards of ice from shaking it that I don't want in my drink. Traditionally, this doesn't have a garnish, and I suspect that's because it was a morning after drink. So my thought is you're probably drinking it pretty quickly, so you don't really care if it has a garnish. But I just made these little dehydrated orange and lemon slices this past weekend, so I want to use those. This definitely wakes you up. The citrus is very bright and snappy, so I can see how people would drink this in the morning to kind of wake themselves up. And I have to say, I can kind of get down with that mentality of a little hair of the dog here and there. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button. I will be putting out videos weekly. I am Jenna, and this is Gin and Tonic. Cheers. John, come get your drink. It's ready. I tasted it. It's delicious. Don't sass me. Come get your drink.